Greetings and peace and love be with you all. Welcome to SB Life Institute podcast. And today we are joined by two community leaders, Rhonda Binda and Varinder Singh. And I'd say that it is an honor to have them here on this particular episode. Initially, I will say that I come to know Rhonda Binda many years ago. And lately, I can say that my good friend, Varinder, has been someone that I've noticed working tirelessly within our community. A quick disclaimer that I'm not here to discuss politics, but as a community leader, my intent is to communicate and to have meaningful conversation and also hard conversation about how we can develop our community and the society in which we live in. We want to thank you both for joining us on SE Life Institute podcast. And our goal is to help our community learn more about who you are, what you stand for, and how you hope to serve the people of Richmond Hill and beyond. First of all, allow me to give you this time to introduce yourself, Rhonda, if you can kindly tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, and thereafter I'll ask my good friend Varinder if you can also share a little bit about yourself as introduction to the people and my viewers.
Thank you so much. It really is an honor to be here. And when you talk about working tirelessly, I think about you actually, because you're a hard person to follow in terms of the amount of work that you do for the community, but you inspire me for many years. And thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Binda. I'm an attorney by trade. I work in technology. It's been my passion, but my other passion has been working to empower people. I've had such a great experience being first generation American, living the American dream. And I've had the great opportunities to serve at places like the U.S. Senate, the White House, State Department. Yeah. But all this time I want to come back and see what can I take from what I've learned and contribute back to the place that made me who I am, which is Queens, New York. And so at the heart of Queens is Richmond Hill. And there's, a lot of community building that needs to be done. And actually, both of you are building literally and figuratively, because I see that what you're doing with the renovations at the glorious mosque, as well as Brenner will have a chance to talk about himself in construction and during his, the work that he does. But it's really just an honor to be here. I'm excited today to be here, especially because today was early voting, the first day, and the excitement's in the air. We have, so many people with me for the first time that maybe will be voting because they see people from the community that are actually stepping up to the plate to run for district leader. And it's just, I think it's an auspicious day to be here talking with you. So
thank you so much for taking time off to be on the show. And now, my good friend, can you share a little bit about yourself? And
yes, thank you so much, Safraz, for having us here. And so my name is Binda Singh. By profession, so I'm the CEO of my real estate firm, just Legal Advisors. And now I'm running as a Democrat district leader from Assembly District 24B, is part of Richmond Hill and Kew Gardens.
Yeah.
And the thing is, why I'm running, because basically she's an attorney, I'm an entrepreneur, but we are in the politics for purpose. The reason is there is a too much big leadership vacuum between community and elected officials. And one thing is there is also not a lot of people's involvement in the civic system and also in the politics. And some people think the politics is messy, or we don't want to vote.
Because that is one of the things that I wanted to mention, maybe when you're finished.
Yeah. Yes. The thing is, but as my thing, we believe in God. We are, in fact, all religion. We believe universal truth to this world run by God. But there is a bitter truth. This world run by the politicians. If we don't have good leaders, or in any branch, or in city, state, or in federal level, whatever the decision they make any decision, you vote or not, is impact all of us. Yeah. So that's why I want people to involve in the politics. involved in the voting process. So because voting is your power, if you go vote, and then next time after 2 years when the elections came, when 4 years the election is coming, and then people and elected officials know if we don't work for the people, they vote against them, you and they take out from office.
So, point I would like to mention would be that in Richmond Hill area, district in which you're running, is that I've seen for the past 13 years during election time that the turnout is quite minimal. And the reason why, based on my interaction, is that there are many communities that feel that when you engage in politics, it's not a clean thing. That they have question mark on the ethics behind politicians.
Yes.
And whether they are actually working for the people. And I mention in this because I want to ask both of you, give you the chance to say what is different about the two of you in comparison with other people that are there. Brother, I know that you have occupied major offices and you were bar president of Queens, and and also you've been around. The Richmond Hill Queens area is our area, like Richmond Hill area. That ask what is different? I mean, like, why did you focus on this area particularly? And in addition to this, what are the values that you think that is important to run by as community leaders?
Thank you for that question. Indeed, politics, like anything in life is messy. Yeah, so is politics, right? I've learned as more and more as my experience that we're not robust. Even though I work in technology, I'd like to believe that we can do things cleaner. But no, we're human beings, and in humanity, it's going to be that way. And politics is not any different. And so, I wanted to demystify first of all, the pathway for getting involved in politics and work with the youth to build a pipeline and change the attitude. Because to your point, I think that there's a lot of cynicism. People are turned off. Sometimes they've seen other leaders, either not be responsive and rise to the top for the wrong reasons. It's for us, it's not title. This is, as you know, volunteer role.
Yeah.
And it's really important that I see that we start to build a pipeline of people who have integrity, who have passion, who have energy, and the interest to do good. And we're different because I think that we're very accessible. We are very transparent. Our phone number and our email is available for anyone to call anytime. And I like it. I like feeling needed. And I enjoy helping people too, right? I get something out of it. And so, we want to, it's only, we work together as a team, but with all organizations, I just think that if we unify, we can do so much more. So for me, the values are to lead with love. I know that we deserve a better quality of life in Richmond Hill, and there are stark differences. Our community is very wealthy, very ambitious. So many of us, as you know, have had the opportunity to live the American dream, but we also want the resources from the city, everything we're contributing to be back invested. And so those are some of the reasons that I think we're different, is that we are committed to making sure that happens for us.
I will also give you a chance to share your thought process about what value do you think that you would bring, what different do you think you would bring, because they would say, here's another person running for office. Yes, what would be different from those individuals? I'm not here to discuss anyone. Just
I totally agree. That means first, your question is why people stay away from the politics and they afraid this message. But the thing is, if you want to beat the system, you have to be in the system. Otherwise, if you're not using your most powerful tool in that democracy, is vote. Voting is your power.
yes,
So we have to use it. And the thing is, first, we want to be doing the accountability in community, so to elected officials, because elected officials, basically, we need to bring the sources in our communities, our synagogues, churches, mosques, house of worships, libraries, so people can get legal assistance. There is a financial aid assistance program, so as well as federal program, as well as a states program, and so that's why is because in our household workshops, a lot of people came there for workshop time. So when the events in the household workshop or in the public libraries, so people can get a lot of people can get advantage from this. So that's why. And first thing is, we don't need to be when we look for the elected officials or politicians. We don't need to be search them where they are. Basically, they have to come to in the community, come to our doors, so they can provide that sources to our community. So that's why we want to connect our community to with the resources.
Thank you so much. As a religious leader, I do agree that we must be engaging in politics. So I'll say to our viewers and those that will be listening on this podcast, that we encourage you to vote, to go out and vote, because at the end of the day, I often tell my congregation that when there is an issue of safety, you come knock at the door of the imam and say, Imam, do you know someone at the prison? I'm having a problem with my neighbor. Have an issue with parking. When there's an issue with sanitation, they come and knock at your door. You're complaining that you don't want to be engaged. And from a religious side, there is a rise of hate crime as well.
Yeah.
And unless we are engaged in political affairs of our community, then and ensure that people with a moral value is there, that have a thought process of servant, be a servant leader. I see myself as a servant leader, and I would want individuals who are occupying that chair or that position to look out not for the vested interest, their interest, but the interests of the people around. So I would want to take these few minutes by encouraging everyone to be involved. And that's why I've asked you the question, what do you think you would bring different to the table? Because the thought process of our community is that politics basically it's not a community interest. It's all thoughts. I mean, thank you so much for visiting our mosque yesterday.
Yeah, but
The conversation with our president was quite meaningful.
Yes.
But we're being open that Richmond Hill needs someone that advocates for them. Because if you look from the valley all the way down to the end of Liberty Avenue and beyond that, going like 101. If you look at the state safety issue, quality of life issue, there are issues, there are concerns there. It seems as if we are neglected.
Yes.
And with the current status quo, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm hoping that you will have people with that ethical value, that zeal, that zest, that serve before they become politicians, that serve the people. I'm hoping and I'm praying that something positive comes out of this entire setting. But I'll ask you, how would you handle criticism or disagreement from community members or human face? Because I know how you navigate with the criticism that is out there. Because the moment you say you're running for politics, I think we are not mature. People are not mature enough to say, I differ from you in political position.
Yes.
And let's deal with that difference. You start they're targeted against family members, targeted against individuals, whether it's in the social media. How do you deal with criticism? Does it damper you in any way? How do you, I'm just asking out loudly, how do you, and are you facing criticism in the work you're doing currently?
Yes, the criticism is basically it's a part of life. But when you're in the politics, yes, it is part of. But if you want to be a leader, you want to lead the people, you have to be accepted and very calm, and then listen to the people. There is a difference of opinion all over, but listen to the people, what their problem is. And if you be a leader, you have to resolve the problems. and tackle their issues very well. And what is the problem? And we need to solve it. That's why when we go out, there are a lot of things seriously come out in our company. But we are not everything. And but we will, when we get elected, we think everything is on the elected official status. We are working on it. I serve in Community Board 10 in the Education Committee, in JFK Development Committee. And now the New York school system, public school, I love public school system. It's the largest school system around the nation. And what there is we need an improvement in our public school, and we need to be investment in our public school. That's why I think we need to start the education program from 5th grade. So sometimes when students graduate from high school, they have something in their hand, second hand, so skills, so they can get a job during their degrees. So people, if not graduate from high school, they have something skill, so they can get a job. That's control homeless thing is, and also property, and it is a lot of issues. When you have something in your hand, you can get the job.
So thank you so much, Rhonda. Many of our residents, being an imam, a lot of people come and they speak. I'm sure this is not unique towards my community, but I know many residents are concerned about affordability, housing, quality of life. How would you advocate for local families?
Well, that's at the core of what ye are interested in working on, and being that that voice to advocate that as there are programs and as there are developments happening and changes in regulations and laws in your city. Sometimes you don't always see the impact happening in our neighborhood. So we talked about zoning, we talked about other types of development. There are a number of opportunities that I think that are just at our fingertips, including building a community center, and including building a merchants associations for our businesses downtown, creating the environments to have more town halls, so that when folks come in and have issues, that they shouldn't go to you, but we want to help bring the issues to the forefront for the elected officials, and perhaps even working with the leaders and putting together roundtables for you all to regularly give that feedback, and so that we can advocate going to Albany, going to City Hall, working with the folks even in you mentioned federal, to bring the policies that sometimes in order to become part of that solution, you have to work as the legislation is being made. And I've seen too many times, even when I was working in Washington, I thought that as there were incredible programs and changes, and I would come back to New York and say, how come it's only in Manhattan? Yeah. Why is it only in the South Bronx? Yeah. Why weren't we selected for those improvements? And so I really want to make sure that we're not only voicing what we need, but as the changes are happening, and we've seen that the mayor has started to make some of those regulatory changes, how is it going to impact our community, and how can we plug into that and benefit from it? And that's what we want to make sure, that it's not, of course, coming out and voting, but then making sure that the next step is that we're part of the progress that's happening with the city and not left behind.
And I think one of the concerns is this equitable distribution of funds, whether it's from the city or from the state, for our community. And it's quite lacking. Again, I'm saying our president or Moss was highlighting to you guys that you don't have liberty. You see that, there are not sufficient funds, or there's funds that it's not used for the road. The road itself, we had an accident where a person actually literally got hit down and lost their life because of, lack of safety, and the road was not also safe because of potholes. And I'm very optimistic about that. Queens being the most diverse borough, you have people from all religious backgrounds.
Yes.
Like from the Muslim community, Jewish community,
Yeah.
and I see that there are politicians, right, that is trying not to bring people together, but to use their platform, whether it's through tweets or whether it's through their words, to divide. At one point I thought that it would be impossible for us to see something of this nature in Queens, or in New York in general. That we thought this thing will happen in different states, not here. But we're seeing a lot of hate crime here, raising its ugly head here in Queens. And lately, their politicians are making tweets that is trying to somehow divide I'll say Queens, here, Richmond Hill area, you have mosques, you have synagogue, and you have churches, right, nearby. But I see very minimal collaboration happen in a proactive way, but rather it happen in a reactive way. When something happens, then everybody comes up for a photo out. But we do not have, I'll say, I don't think Queens and our area have an organization that works together in bringing harmony for minority communities. Because if we do not stand together and look at we have common values rather than differences that is used to segregate us based on color. And when I say I'm not talking only about religion, I'm talking about minority communities, the African American communities, the immigrants, the LGBT community, that everyone, the minority communities. And I think that we must form a coalition to show that our diversity is our strength, and we cannot allow politicians to basically use slogans that intends to divide. And we must be able to power. Well, what do you have in mind, like as a team? I mean, because we're starting from small. We're not looking down. We have to look at Richmond Hill in having these hard discussions.
So first, we must have to reject the politics of hate. If any politicians try to create that division, we have to reject that, and we have to come together and stand against them. Because they are, if any elected official try to create that division, he's an outrageous. Because United States of America and New York State or New York City, there is no any space for hate, but they try to be created because for voting purposes. And sometimes people are affected with the hate crimes, and sometimes is bread and butter for you. You say, it's bread and butter for them. Yeah. But when people come together, let's see if there is any hate crime against the Jewish community, against the Muslim community, in any community. But we have to stand against hate crimes together. Regardless any race, any culture, any religion, we have to stand there as a human being. And this is the humanitarian cause. And so because we want to be our house for worship is protected, safe, and we don't want to be any kind of division. If someone created, me and Rhonda is totally against it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I know I'm looking forward that if elected, like we could work, whether elected or not, for us to work together.
No, I hope
we're hoping for the positive, but I'm saying it's important for us to work together.
Yes,
in that, because if there's a sense of belonging and connection to our community, I think we can prevail. So if everybody's working in absolutely fine. In silos, it's very little production. But I think one of the key things, right, would be for parents and families often think about the youths in our community, right? I know this is advocated in places of worship, and there are many youth programs. Like a couple months ago, we saw a young man being shot in another 0.5 forest. I'll probably ask you, what do you have in mind for the youths in our community, and what we can do to ensure the safety of our youth and our young people, our children, growing up in an environment where many feel that it's unsafe. So we have to deal with safety. And in addition to this, how we can groom them to be people who are thinkers and to advocate proper learning.
Yes, serving on the board for Richmond Hills Boys and Girls Club and Guyanese Girls Rock Foundation, which is a high school women's leadership program. And New York Hall of Science, I've worked with a lot of young people around teens, and our intention is in visiting again with all the principals in the neighborhood. Our intention is to continue to expand part of what Varinder said already with the locational, but also if we're able to build a community center in the neighborhood, it's one way to help break down some of those silos so that folks are not just going to what they know, but we can build a stronger community and interaction and more opportunities for the youth to get involved and to have other types of extracurricular activities outside of school. That's a lot of what we do at Guyanese Girls Rock Foundation. It's sort of like a pilot that we think that we can expand that to make that available to more students, because there's a great learning that happens at our great public schools. I went to them myself, but there's so many things that even I'm learning from the girls now in their programming that we supplement that education. And some of it gets them thinking about college, some of them gets them thinking about other vocations. Some of it has them, thinking about, what they can do for exposing them to different professions. So, Boys and Girls Clubs focus on sports. I think that's very important for both boys and girls. I think that education, and then just to reflect back a little bit on what you were saying about the interfaith community. I would like to see actually a roundtable of the young youth groups from all the different all of the religious denominations actually come together and have them tell us, what the community should be doing. I want to really empower them.
Yeah.
We also
give them that voice.
Yeah. There's a group that we're forming. It's launching this month under the banner of the World Guyana Congress, but it's not just for Guyanese youth, but it's a young professionals organization that's going to be launching in a few weeks. And so just giving them the mentorship so that they can see the opportunities that are not just right in the neighborhood, but part of what we do with Guyanese Girls Rock is take them into the city, take them on trips, even sometimes to Long Island, expose them to different, what the opportunities are there. It's New York City. There's so much here, but we want to open the eyes and the hearts of our young people to see themselves in those roles as well.
So, Bruno, what do you have to say about young people that are disconnected with politics?
Yes, the youth is our future, and we have to be critical leadership from for our next generations, and that's why we want to be our youth organizations, our house of worships, our interfaith or non-profit organizations to be strong, to be connected with our sources. So when they have resources, and we also advocate for that public funding for our youth organizations, our household worship, non-profit organization. So government can, their part is fair share over there. So they can invest on our youth and on our seniors. And for the youth is, yes, that's why we want to be talk about vocational education as well as the sports program, because we need to be youth to be busy to something in the skills and the sports. So so there is no any drug problems and mental health issues. And you talk about the gun violence. The gun violence is yes, I believe it. There is a politics gone down over gun violence.
Yeah.
Whatever you Republican or you Democrat, we all have to work together to make a strong law for gun control. Why is easy access for guns? Anyone can pick up the gun, go to house of worship or schools, and this has happened for a long time.
Yeah.
During President Obama in 2012. 25 children killed in the school in Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
And after that, there is a lot of attacks on household workshops. And why we need to be, why is America a strong system, right? why we not going to be control the guns? We need to be control the guns. Not in New York City, New York State. We need to be all over. So all Republican Democrats have to work together to stop it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you where that is concerned. So I'll the time is coming to an end. So for our episode, but I'll ask both of you to share some important points regarding this election. There's a lot of people don't know there's an election coming up because I don't know, lack of interest. Everybody's busy with their work. And so forth. So this episode is going to probably be edited tonight and then it'll be shared. At least to give people that chance to know, to make a choice. And when they make that choice, they'll have to live with the consequences of the choice. And I'll say, are you comfortable with the status quo or not? So just inform if you can take a couple of minutes of your time to talk about the election and how important that election is for people to engage. So take the time to go find your polling station, wherever they are, and just go there. Because their voice is their power.
The voice is their power. Their voice is the strength. The vote is the strength.
Yeah.
And we have seen in the work that we've done and the work that you do, how many decisions are made every day that affect our lives because of how we vote. So I implore, please so vote. There are open polling sites at 2 locations there at Richmond Hill Library, at Lefferts, and Hillside Avenue, as well as Resorts World. And we have our website with our information. You can Google us, get more information. We want to engage and talk to you and help you if there's anyone that needs assistance in going to vote. But it's so important because the decisions that are being made affect us in the neighborhood, or we're not at the table being able to contribute if we don't have our community members in office. So I'm going to pass it on to Varinder, but you have also until the 21st to vote early, and then the actual voting day is the 23rd, but you don't have to wait.
Yes. Our appeal and ask all people, and especially youth, to involve in the politics and in strict system. Voting power is your greatest tool. You can use it and you can change the system.
Yeah.
And that's why we both running. She's running as a female district leader. I'm running as a male district leader. And we are running from Assembly 44B as part of Richmond Hill and Kew Gardens. And the early voting starts today, is to 21st, and the election day is on 23rd. And please elect us. She's running second time. I'm running first time. Elect us, so we will serve you. But after that, your duty is make accountable too. Seriously, our accountability to make a elected official accountable to public, and yours duty is to be, if we not serve, next time say bye-bye.
Okay, right. So as we wrap up, I just want to ask both of you, right? If you can have one word that describe your leadership style. Sorry, I'm a person like to, I'm a person like that. I'm a love coach and also a healthcare chaplain. So sometimes I ask those words,
Yes, I totally agree, sir. The leadership style is basically when you want to be in public life or want to be in politics, or your main duty is to serve the people and solve their issues. If you just running for the title, you don't need to be think about politics and involved in the public life. Just get your check, stay home, enjoy your life. But if you want to be interested in the politics, you have to work for the people and serve them. This is your duty from first day.
Thank you so much.
So I love the word compassion.
Yeah.
That really, I think, embodies why I do what I do. It has the word passion in it.
Yeah.
So it's the passion, but also it's the empathy and the caring for the people in the community I serve, and wanting to improve that quality of life for everyone across the board.
From the spectrum of politicians or individuals, historians, who inspire you? One way.
Well,
or even any general.
I've been reflecting a lot on Jesse Jackson. especially with what he did with the Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah.
And because Queens is so diverse and he was such a giant and way ahead of his time, I do think that a lot of what we can do in Queens and Richmond Hill will be modeled after the Rainbow Coalition of Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson, great.
Yes, I'm in American politics. I'm with the Lincoln and Dr. Martin Luther King's because this is United States of America, and we must protect the fundamental rights of peoples, their civil rights, human rights, and all voting rights. So because we are all equal, and we believe in equality, and we believe in service to doing what people. It's not just like sitting and we must stop to any division within our communities.
Okay, and if both of you are elected, what is one thing you would like to people in your community to remember about you and your commitments coming?
Yes,
in other words, like if you get this position, what would you like people to think about you as a person and your commitment to serve?
Yes, our commitment from day first and our duty is when we get elected. We are doing. She is ex-deputy president and district leader. I already serve in the community board, and I work with us different non-profit organizations around the United States, and we are running in this election for purpose to deliver to the people and bring the resources. And this is our duty, and accountability and integrity is our
integrity and commitment. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I would love for folks to remember that we're opening doors. You mentioned, of course, bringing resources. We're opening doors and building that pipeline for more of our community to have their voices heard and receive the opportunities in civics and beyond.
So I want to thank you so much. Believe me, I'm very honored to have this discussion with both of you, and I wish you all the best. And I see your personality is very appealing to people, and I hope that you keep that up despite what life shows at you. That I know that whether you're elected or not, that you have the heart of someone that serves, and you look up for the people. So I wish you all the best, and I pray for your success. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.